1 in 3 Americans is deficient in at least one essential nutrient right now, not someday, not theoretically, right now. And the wild part? Most of them have no idea. They think they're just tired, or getting older, or stressed. Or maybe they just need more coffee, and they walk around for years, sometimes decades, with their body quietly sending signal after signal, trying to get their attention, and they just keep scrolling. Today, we're going to make sure that's not you. We're covering 25 signs that your body is running low on critical nutrients. Some of these are going to be obvious. Some of them are going to surprise you, and at least a few of them, I'll bet, are happening in your body right now without you realizing it. Let's get into all of it. Welcome to Bright Future Health, where we take real nutrition science and make it actually understandable. If you're new here, subscribe. We put out content like this every week. Quick important note before we get into the signs, none of this is medical advice. If something on this list sounds very familiar, take that seriously and talk to your naturopathic doctor. We're here to educate, not diagnose. Now, before we go sign by sign, I want to give you 3 root causes that explain why so many people are nutrient deficient in the first place. Because this is the part most videos skip. Root cause number 1, your gut is damaged. Whether from years of processed food, antibiotics, stress, or poor diet, a compromised gut lining simply cannot absorb nutrients properly. You can eat perfectly and still be deficient if the absorption machinery is broken. Root cause number 2, your diet. If you're living primarily on processed, packaged, and refined foods, and let's be honest, a lot of us are at least partly there, you're simply not putting in enough of the raw nutritional material your body needs to run correctly. Root cause number 3, sugar and refined carbohydrates. Here's something most people don't know. High sugar intake doesn't just fail to provide nutrients, it actively burns through the ones you already have. Nutrients like zinc, B vitamins, magnesium, and vitamin C get depleted rapidly when your body is processing a high sugar diet. You're not just not filling the tank, you're draining it faster than normal. Okay, with that foundation in place, let's go through the 25 signs. Sign number 1, white spots on your nails. This is a good one to start with because almost everyone has seen this and never thought twice about it. White spots on your fingernails. Not at the tip where it's just normal white nail. I mean little white specks or patches in the middle of the nail, usually on 1 or 2 fingers. Most people think these are from calcium deficiency or hitting their nail against something. It's actually almost always zinc. And here's the fascinating part. Because nails grow at a predictable rate, that little white spot is basically a timestamp. If the spot is about halfway down the nail, that means roughly 3 months ago your zinc took a serious hit. And what depletes zinc that fast? Sugar, refined carbohydrates. That birthday party where you may have had a generous relationship with the cake. 3 months later, boom, white spot. Your nail is essentially a food diary that you never agreed to keep. Zinc is one of the most critical minerals in your body. It's involved in immune function, hormone regulation, wound healing, and your sense of taste and smell. When it drops, things go wrong in multiple systems at once. What this means for you? Look at your nails right now. Any white spots? Think back 3 months. What was happening with your diet? And more importantly, what do you need to change going forward? Reduce sugar. Eat zinc-rich foods like red meat, pumpkin seeds, and shellfish. And consider a quality zinc or trace mineral supplement. Sign number 2, oily skin. And look, I want to be careful here because I know some people are going to say, that's just my skin type. Maybe, but hear me out. Your skin has oil-producing glands called sebaceous glands. They make a substance called sebum. That's the oil. When sebum production is balanced, your skin looks healthy. When it's overproducing, you look like you could fry an egg on your forehead by noon. Here's the connection most people miss. Sebum production is regulated largely by androgens. That's the family of hormones that includes testosterone. When androgens are elevated or out of balance, the sebaceous glands go into overdrive. And one of the key nutrients that regulates androgen balance is, again, zinc. But there's a second angle here. High sugar intake causes insulin spikes. Elevated insulin directly stimulates androgen production. So high sugar diet, high insulin, high androgens contributes to oily skin. The whole chain traces back to what you're eating. For women especially, this androgen oil connection is tied to conditions like PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, where hormonal imbalance drives skin issues, among other things. What this means for you: if your skin is consistently oily and you're fighting it with products but never winning, look at your zinc levels and your sugar intake first. Nutritional yeast for B vitamins, zinc supplementation, and reducing refined carbohydrates can make a measurable difference. Sign number 3, cracking at the corners of the mouth. And if you've had this, you know, it's miserable. Every time you smile or eat, that little crack pulls open, and it's just a constant reminder that something isn't right. This condition has a name: angular cheilitis, and its most common nutritional cause is a vitamin B2 deficiency, also known as riboflavin. B2 is essential for cellular energy production and skin integrity. When it's low, the thin, delicate skin at the corners of your mouth is often one of the first places to show it. B vitamins as a group also play huge roles in skin health. A severe B vitamin deficiency leads to conditions like pellagra, a disease with devastating skin, digestive, and neurological effects. Angular cheilitis is a much milder version of that same nutritional gap showing up on your face. Vitamin D deficiency is also associated with these cracks, and vitamin D is deficient in an enormous percentage of the population, particularly those who work indoors or live in northern climates. What this means for you, if you're getting recurring cracks at the corners of your mouth and chapstick isn't solving it, because it won't, the fix is nutritional. Unfortified nutritional yeast is one of the best natural sources of the full B vitamin spectrum. Reduce grain intake, which can interfere with B vitamin absorption, and get your vitamin D levels checked. Sign number 4, flaking or dry skin. Now I know some of you are thinking, dry skin, that's just the winter. Maybe. But if it's year-round and persistent, that's your body waving a nutritional flag. The primary nutritional driver of chronic dry, flaking skin is an omega-3 fatty acid deficiency, often combined with an excess of omega-6 fatty acids from processed and fried foods. Here's the balance your skin needs. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in fatty fish, cod liver oil, flaxseed, are anti-inflammatory and help maintain the skin's natural moisture barrier. Omega-6 fatty acids, found heavily in vegetable oils, processed snacks, and most fast food, are pro-inflammatory, and in excess, they crowd out omega-3s and disrupt that barrier. The average Western diet has an omega-6 to omega-3 ratio of somewhere between 15.1 and 20:1. The optimal ratio for health is closer to 4.1. Most people are swimming in omega-6 and drowning out the omega-3s their skin desperately needs. What this means for you: if your skin is dry, flaking, and no moisturizer is making a lasting difference, the problem is coming from the inside, not the outside. Add cod liver oil or high-quality fish oil, eat more fatty fish, and start reducing the processed oils and fried foods that are tipping your omega balance in the wrong direction. Sign number 5, yellowing of the eyes. And I want to be upfront, this one sits at the more serious end of the list, so pay attention. Yellowing of the eyes, known medically as jaundice or scleral icterus, is caused by a buildup of bilirubin in the blood. Bilirubin is a byproduct of the normal breakdown of red blood cells, and it's supposed to be processed and excreted by the liver through bile. When bile flow is compromised, whether from liver stress, gallbladder issues, or a deficiency in bile salts, bilirubin accumulates and gives a yellow tint to the whites of the eyes. From a nutritional standpoint, purified bile salts can support this process. But here's where I have to be straight with you. Yellowing eyes are one of those signs where you should not wait. It warrants a conversation with your naturopathic doctor. It can signal liver disease, bile duct obstruction, or other conditions that need proper evaluation. Don't try to supplement your way past this one without medical input. What this means for you: yellow tint in the whites of your eyes. Go see your doctor. Full stop. Take note of any other symptoms happening at the same time and mention all of them. Sign number 6, chronic cough. And this one genuinely surprises people. a chronic cough that won't go away and has no obvious cause. Most people jump to allergies, asthma, or acid reflux, and those are real possibilities. But a persistent, unexplained cough is also a classic sign of calcium deficiency, specifically a form of calcium called calcium lactate. Here's the mechanism. Calcium plays a critical role in muscle and nerve function, including the muscles lining your airway and respiratory system. When calcium levels drop, smooth muscle tissue, the kind in your bronchial tubes, can become irritated and hypersensitive, leading to a chronic, dry, tickling cough that doesn't respond to typical cough remedies. The specific form matters here. Calcium lactate is absorbed and utilized differently than the calcium carbonate in most cheap supplements. If you've tried calcium supplements before and haven't noticed a difference for this symptom, the form of calcium you're using might be the issue. What this means for you, chronic dry cough with no clear allergy or illness explanation, consider calcium lactate. Get your calcium levels checked and eat more leafy green vegetables, which are excellent natural sources. Sign number 7, bleeding or red gums. And I want to reframe how you think about this because most people immediately think it's a dental hygiene issue. Sometimes it is, but often it's nutritional. Vitamin C is essential for the production of collagen, the structural protein that holds your gum tissue together and keeps it attached to your teeth. When vitamin C is deficient, collagen production drops, gum tissue weakens, and it starts to bleed easily. This is actually the root cause of scurvy, the legendary disease that decimated sailors on long sea voyages before anyone understood nutrition. Scurvy is essentially severe, prolonged vitamin C deficiency. Bleeding gums were one of the defining symptoms. What most people experience today isn't full-blown scurvy, it's a low-grade chronic version of the same deficiency. And here's the sugar connection that almost nobody mentions: vitamin C and glucose, which is what sugar becomes, compete for absorption in the body. They use the same cellular transport system. When blood sugar is high, it crowds out vitamin C at the absorption level. You can eat vitamin C and still not absorb it properly if your blood sugar is chronically elevated. What this means for you, bleeding gums, especially if they've been an issue for a while, add vitamin C-rich foods like bell peppers, citrus, and berries. Reduce sugar to allow better absorption. And if gum issues are significant, see a dentist and consider getting your vitamin C levels evaluated. Sign number 8, poor night vision. Struggling to see in dim light, taking a long time for your eyes to adjust when you walk into a dark room, or having difficulty driving at night. This is a textbook vitamin A deficiency symptom, and it's one that's been documented for literally thousands of years. In fact, ancient Egyptians apparently knew that eating liver, which is extremely high in vitamin A, improved night vision. They figured that out long before anyone knew what vitamins were. Here's the science. Your retina, the light-sensitive layer at the back of your eye, contains specialized cells called rods and cones. Rods are responsible for vision in low light. They require a specific vitamin A derivative called retinol to function. No adequate vitamin A, rods underperform, night vision suffers. One important nuance: vitamin A from plant sources comes as beta-carotene, which your body has to convert into active retinol. But a significant percentage of people, especially those with certain genetic variations, are poor converters. So eating lots of carrots might not actually solve the problem. You need preformed vitamin A from animal sources like liver, egg yolks, and cod liver oil. What this means for you: struggling with night vision. Don't just accept it as aging. Get your vitamin A levels checked and look at your diet. Cod liver oil is one of the most efficient ways to address this. Sign number 9, chapped lips. And yes, I know, it's just dry weather, or I just need more chapstick. But if you are someone who goes through chapstick like it's a subscription service and your lips are still always dry and cracking, that is not a chapstick deficiency. Chronically chapped lips are strongly associated with B vitamin deficiency, particularly the B complex as a whole. B vitamins are essential for cellular turnover and the maintenance of mucosal tissue, the thin, sensitive tissue that makes up your lips. When B vitamins are low, that tissue breaks down faster than it can repair. The grain connection here is critical. Many people eat a diet heavy in bread, pasta, cereals, and grains, which contain compounds called phytates that actively block the absorption of B vitamins and other minerals. So you might be eating foods that market themselves as B vitamin sources while simultaneously blocking their own absorption. That's not great. And chapstick, while not entirely useless, is treating the surface of a problem that lives beneath the surface. It's like painting over a crack in the wall without fixing the foundation. What this means for you: if chapped lips are a constant battle, try nutritional yeast, specifically unfortified, as your B vitamin source. Cut back on grains. Give it a few weeks and see what happens to your lips. Sign number 10. Pitting edema, swollen lower legs, ankles. And if you've never heard that term, here's a quick test you can do right now. Press your finger firmly into your lower leg, right above the ankle, and hold it for 5 seconds. Release. If the skin bounces back immediately, great. If the dent lingers for a few seconds before filling back in, that's pitting edema. That's fluid pooling in your tissue. The primary nutritional driver is potassium deficiency. Potassium is the key mineral that regulates fluid balance at the cellular level. It keeps fluid inside cells where it belongs and prevents it from leaking into surrounding tissue. When potassium drops, that regulation breaks down and fluid accumulates, especially in the lower legs and ankles where gravity does its thing. Here's the sobering number. The recommended daily potassium intake is 4,700 milligrams. The average American gets somewhere between 1,500 and 2,500. That's not a small gap. That's less than half of what your body needs, and you can't meaningfully close that gap with a standard potassium supplement because the dose is legally capped at 99 milligrams per tablet. You need food. Lots of leafy greens, avocado, beet tops, and other whole plant sources. What this means for you: swollen ankles or lower legs that aren't explained by injury or heart issues. Potassium is the first nutritional place to look. And eat your greens. A lot. More of them than you probably are right now. Quick pause before we keep going. We're almost halfway through the list and I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these signs have you personally experienced? Or maybe you recognize something in a family member or friend. I read every comment on this channel and I genuinely want to know. Okay, back to it. We've got 15 more signs to cover. Sign number 11, craving ice, pagophagia. This one is genuinely fascinating. Craving ice. Not just wanting something cold to drink, but actually wanting to chew ice constantly. Can't stop, won't stop ice chewing. This has a name, pagophagia, and it is one of the most consistent and specific signs of iron deficiency anemia. The exact reason isn't completely nailed down by science, but the leading theory is that chewing ice provides a temporary boost in alertness and mental clarity in people whose brains are getting inadequate oxygen due to low iron. Iron is essential for hemoglobin, the protein in red blood cells that carries oxygen. Low iron means less oxygen to the brain, means the brain goes looking for any stimulation it can find. And apparently, ice is weirdly helpful. Iron deficiency anemia is the most common nutrient deficiency worldwide. It affects over 2 billion people globally, and it disproportionately affects women, particularly those of childbearing age due to monthly blood loss. What this means for you: if you're someone who genuinely craves chewing ice, not just enjoys a cold drink, but specifically wants the crunch of ice, get your iron and ferritin levels checked. This is a surprisingly specific symptom. Add iron-rich foods like red meat, liver, and spinach, and pair them with vitamin C to significantly boost iron absorption. Sign number 12, angina, chest pain, tightness. That's chest tightness, pressure, or pain, particularly with exertion, that isn't explained by a diagnosed heart condition. And look, I want to be very clear up front. If you are experiencing chest pain of any kind, please get it evaluated by a naturopathic doctor. Do not try to supplement your way past chest pain without a medical assessment. That said, once you've been cleared of serious cardiac issues, nutritional factors are very much worth exploring. Vitamin E deficiency is closely linked to angina in people who don't have structural heart disease. Vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant that protects blood vessel walls from oxidative damage, supports healthy circulation, and helps keep blood vessels flexible. When it's low, blood vessels become more prone to inflammation and spasm, which can manifest as that tight, squeezing chest sensation. The important nuance: not all vitamin E is equal. There's a whole family of compounds called tocopherols, and most cheap supplements only contain one, alpha tocopherol. A mixed tocopherol supplement that includes all four forms is significantly more effective. What this means for you: medically cleared chest tightness with no clear cause. Talk to your doctor about vitamin E levels. Add almonds, sunflower seeds, and wheat germ to your diet. And choose a mixed tocopherol vitamin E supplement if you supplement. Sign number 13, muscle cramps, especially the ones that wake you up at night with your calf muscle doing something that no muscle should legally be able to do. The primary nutritional cause: magnesium deficiency. And magnesium deficiency is not rare. Estimates suggest somewhere between 70 and 80% of Americans don't get enough. That is an extraordinary number for something this important. Here's how it works. Muscle function requires two minerals working in balance: calcium, which causes muscles to contract, and magnesium, which causes them to relax. Think of it like a door. Calcium opens it, magnesium closes it. When magnesium is low, the door gets stuck open. Muscles contract but can't properly release. That's a cramp. Potassium is also involved. Low potassium contributes to cramping because of its role in nerve and muscle signaling. So often, the full solution involves addressing both minerals together. What this means for you: regular muscle cramps, especially at night or during exercise, almost certainly have a magnesium component. The most absorbable forms are magnesium glycinate and magnesium malate. Oxide is cheap and common but poorly absorbed. Eat your leafy greens, and if you exercise regularly, your magnesium needs are higher than the average person. Sign number 14, irregular heartbeat, palpitations. That fluttering, skipping, or racing sensation in your chest that makes you suddenly very aware of the fact that your heart is beating. Again, and I'll keep saying this, anything involving your heart should be evaluated medically. Don't self-treat palpitations, but nutritional deficiency is a very real and common contributor to this symptom. Your heart is a muscle, and like all muscles, it runs on electrical signals. Those signals are regulated by electrolytes, specifically potassium and magnesium. When potassium drops too low, the electrical system of the heart can become erratic. The heart's pacemaker cells, which set the rhythm, depend on potassium flowing in and out of them in a precise pattern. Disrupt that, and you get the irregular rhythm you feel as palpitations. Magnesium plays a similar stabilizing role. In fact, magnesium is used in emergency medicine for certain types of cardiac arrhythmias. The nutritional version isn't as dramatic, but the principle is the same. What this means for you: get palpitations checked out medically. Then look seriously at your potassium and magnesium intake. These two minerals are the foundation of electrical stability in the heart. Sign number 15, bone pain. Not joint pain, actual deep aching pain in the bone. The kind that's hard to localize but feels like it's coming from somewhere underneath everything else. This is one of the most classic and consistent signs of vitamin D deficiency. Your bones are living tissue that constantly remodel themselves, and that process requires vitamin D to drive calcium into the bone matrix. Without adequate D, bones don't mineralize properly. They become dense on the outside, but softer in the middle, and that imbalance creates pain. But here's the nuance most people miss. Vitamin D and vitamin K2 work as a team. Vitamin D increases calcium absorption from your gut. Vitamin K2, specifically the MK7 form, acts like a traffic director that makes sure that calcium actually goes into your bones and teeth rather than depositing in your arteries and soft tissue. Taking high doses of vitamin D without K2 can cause calcium to go to the wrong places. Vitamin D deficiency affects roughly 40% of Americans, and significantly higher percentages in people over 50, darker-skinned individuals, and anyone who spends most of their time indoors. What this means for you: deep aching bone pain without injury explanation. Get your vitamin D levels tested. Supplement with D3 alongside K2 in the MK7 form, and get your calcium from food rather than supplements where possible. Sign number 16. Vision loss, eye changes. Vision changes. Beyond just the night vision we covered earlier, your eyes are metabolically demanding. They use a huge amount of nutrients relative to their size, and they're often one of the first places long-term nutritional deficiencies show up in measurable ways. Beyond vitamin A and night vision, lutein and zeaxanthin are two carotenoids that concentrate specifically in the macula of the eye, the central part of the retina responsible for sharp, detailed vision. These compounds act as natural sunglasses for your eye cells, filtering harmful blue light and protecting against oxidative damage. Low levels of lutein and zeaxanthin are directly linked to increased risk of age-related macular degeneration, one of the leading causes of vision loss in people over 50. Zinc plays a role too. It's required to transport vitamin A from the liver to the retina. And omega-3 fatty acids are a structural component of the cell membranes of photoreceptor cells. Deficiency in any of these affects your visual system in compounding ways. What this means for you: don't wait for vision problems to think about eye nutrition. Eat leafy greens, especially kale and spinach, which are among the highest food sources of lutein and zeaxanthin. Take your fish oil, get adequate zinc. Your future eyes will thank your current self. Sign number 17. Thinning hair or hair loss. And this one is deeply personal for a lot of people, so let's give it the attention it deserves. Hair follicles are among the most nutrient-hungry cells in your body. They cycle through rapid growth phases and require a constant, generous supply of micronutrients to keep doing their job. When nutrition is inadequate, hair is one of the first things the body cuts resources to, because hair is not essential for survival. Your body is ruthlessly practical like that. Iron deficiency is a major driver. Reduced iron means reduced oxygen delivery to follicles, which slows or halts growth. Zinc is involved in regulating the hormonal environment around follicles, including the conversion of testosterone to DHT, a hormone linked to follicle miniaturization in pattern hair loss. Biotin, vitamin B7, is critical for keratin production, which is the protein hair is made of, and vitamin D has receptors in hair follicles that influence their growth cycling. What this means for you: hair thinning that's unexplained. Before spending money on topical treatments, get a full nutritional panel. Iron, ferritin, zinc, vitamin D, and B12 are the key ones to check. Fix the nutrition first. Sign number 15. Persistent fatigue. Not just, I didn't sleep well last night, tired. The kind where you wake up tired, stay tired all day, and wonder how other people seem to have energy to do actual things. Fatigue is the most non-specific symptom on this list because it can come from many places, but nutritional causes are among the most common and most overlooked because nobody tests for them unless you ask. Your cells produce energy through tiny powerhouses called mitochondria. The whole energy production process, converting food into ATP, which is cellular fuel, is completely dependent on a cascade of nutrients as cofactors. B vitamins are essential at multiple steps in this process. Magnesium is required for over 300 enzymatic reactions, many of them energy-related. Iron ensures your blood can carry enough oxygen to feed the mitochondria in the first place. And vitamin D has receptors in cells throughout the body that affect mitochondrial efficiency. Deficiency in any one of these doesn't just slightly reduce your energy, it can dramatically reduce it, because these processes are sequential and interdependent. Missing one cofactor is like pulling a spark plug. The engine won't run right. What this means for you: if you're chronically fatigued and no one has tested your B12, iron, ferritin, magnesium, or vitamin D, ask for those tests. They're often not included in a standard panel unless you specifically request them. Sign number 19. Brain fog and poor concentration. That frustrating cotton-headed feeling where you can't think clearly, can't concentrate, lose words mid-sentence, and feel like your brain is running a version of itself from 10 years ago, slower, less responsive, just not right. Several nutritional deficiencies hit the brain hard. B12 is one of the biggest. It's essential for maintaining the myelin sheath, the insulation around nerve fibers that allows electrical signals to travel efficiently through the nervous system. Low B12 is like stripping the insulation off wires. Signals get lost, short out, or transmit slowly. Cognitive impairment is one of the clearest results. Omega-3 fatty acids, specifically DHA, are structural components of brain cell membranes. Your brain is literally about 60% fat, and it requires a constant supply of DHA to maintain that structure. Chronic low omega-3 intake means your brain cells can't communicate efficiently. Iron, iodine, and adequate thyroid function all contribute as well, because the brain is extraordinarily dependent on a steady oxygen supply and a properly functioning thyroid to regulate its metabolic rate. What this means for you: brain fog is not just stress or aging. Get your B12 tested, especially if you're vegetarian or vegan, since B12 comes almost exclusively from animal foods. Take your fish oil. And if fog is severe or persistent, ask your naturopathic doctor about a full thyroid panel. Sign number 20. Tingling or numbness in hands and feet. That pins and needles sensation that doesn't go away when you shift position, or a persistent numbness at the extremities. This is called peripheral neuropathy. And while it has many possible causes, 2 nutritional deficiencies are among the most common: vitamin B1, thiamine, and vitamin B12. B1 is essential for nerve cell energy metabolism. Without adequate thiamine, nerve cells in the periphery, the ones that run all the way out to your hands and feet, start to malfunction. Signals don't transmit correctly. You feel tingling, numbness, or even pain where there shouldn't be any. B12, as we just discussed, maintains the myelin sheath. Damage to that sheath affects peripheral nerves as much as central ones. Both of these deficiencies are dramatically worsened by alcohol consumption. Alcohol interferes with the absorption and utilization of both B1 and B12, and high blood sugar from a poor diet damages peripheral nerves directly, while simultaneously depleting the B vitamins that nerves need to repair themselves. What this means for you: persistent tingling or numbness in hands or feet, don't ignore it. It can worsen into serious nerve damage over time. Get B1 and B12 tested. Nutritional yeast is an excellent food source for both. And if blood sugar or alcohol are relevant factors in your life, those need to be addressed directly. Sign number 21, low libido. And I'm going to handle this one directly because it matters, and a lot of people suffer silently with it, assuming it's just age or stress. While psychology and relationship dynamics absolutely play a role in libido, the nutritional angle is real and often goes completely unaddressed. Zinc is the primary nutrient connection. It's involved in the production and regulation of testosterone, which is the primary driver of libido in both men and women, not just men. When zinc is low, androgen regulation suffers. Testosterone levels can drop, and the result is a reduction in drive that a lot of people chalk up to getting older or being stressed, when the actual fix might be as straightforward as addressing a mineral deficiency. Vitamin D also correlates meaningfully with testosterone levels. Multiple studies have found that vitamin D supplementation in deficient individuals is associated with measurable increases in testosterone. And chronic stress, by keeping cortisol elevated, further suppresses testosterone production while simultaneously burning through zinc faster. What this means for you: if libido has declined and you haven't looked at zinc and vitamin D, look there first. It's not glamorous advice, but zinc and D are often more actionable than people expect. Sign number 22, slow wound healing. Cuts that take weeks when they should take days. Scratches that linger. Bruises that just won't clear. Wound healing is one of the most nutrient-intensive processes your body undertakes. Happens in 3 overlapping phases: inflammation, rebuilding, and remodeling, and each phase requires a specific set of nutritional inputs. Vitamin C is critical at every stage because wound repair is primarily a collagen production process, and collagen cannot be made without vitamin C. Zinc is essential for cell replication and the immune surveillance that prevents infection during healing. Protein provides the raw amino acid material from which new tissue is built, and vitamin A drives epithelial, skin surface, repair. When any one of these is short, healing slows. When multiple are deficient simultaneously, which is common in people eating poor diets, wounds can become genuinely problematic. This is a well-recognized issue in elderly populations and in diabetics, but it affects anyone with significant nutritional gaps. What this means for you: if you notice you're healing slowly from cuts, bruises, or minor injuries, run through the list. Vitamin C, zinc, protein intake, and vitamin A are the 4 to check. Often the fix is dietary more than supplemental. Sign number 23, mouth ulcers. Mouth ulcers, those small, painful sores on the inside of your cheeks or lips, also called canker sores. If you get these regularly, your body is communicating something. The most consistent nutritional connection is vitamin B12 deficiency. B12 is essential for the rapid cell turnover that keeps the mucosal lining of your mouth intact. When B12 drops, that lining becomes more vulnerable to breakdown, and the result is recurring ulcers. Iron and folate, vitamin B9, deficiency also contribute. Together, these 3 nutrients are essential for healthy red blood cell production and tissue maintenance throughout the gastrointestinal tract, starting at the mouth. The best form of B12 to supplement is methylcobalamin, not cyanocobalamin, which is the cheap form in most basic supplements and is less bioavailable. What this means for you: if canker sores are a regular visitor, don't just wait them out. Get B12, iron, and folate checked. Add nutritional yeast to your diet. And if stress is a factor in your life, know that it burns through B12 faster than almost anything else. Sign number 24, restless legs. And this one is going to resonate with a lot of people. Restless leg syndrome. That maddening, crawling, have to move them feeling in your legs, especially at night when you're trying to sleep. Most people who have this assume it's neurological and largely unfixable without medication. But the nutritional connection is real and often overlooked. Iron deficiency is one of the most documented causes. Here's the mechanism. Dopamine, the neurotransmitter involved in coordinating smooth movement, requires iron for its production in the brain. When iron drops, dopamine signaling in the motor pathways is disrupted, and the result is that uncontrollable urge to move the legs. The key here is checking ferritin specifically, the stored form of iron, not just standard hemoglobin. Many people with restless legs have technically normal hemoglobin but low ferritin, and their iron stores are genuinely insufficient for optimal dopamine production. Magnesium deficiency also contributes because magnesium is needed for muscle relaxation, and low magnesium means muscles that can't fully settle. What this means for you: restless legs that are ruining your sleep, get ferritin levels checked, not just standard iron. Try magnesium glycinate before bed, and if you're not already eating iron-rich foods regularly, start. Sign number 25, frequent illness, weak immune response. And given everything the world has been through in recent years, this one feels especially relevant. A weak immune response. Getting sick frequently, getting sicker than other people, from the same exposure, or taking much longer to recover. Your immune system is one of the most nutrient-dependent systems in your entire body. It's not one thing. It's a layered defense network of cells, proteins, and signaling molecules, and virtually every component of it requires specific micronutrients to function. Vitamin D is arguably the most important. It directly regulates over 200 genes involved in immune function. Low vitamin D doesn't just slightly compromise immunity. It can significantly impair the body's ability to mount a proper immune response. Zinc is essential for the development and function of T cells, the immune cells responsible for targeted defense against specific pathogens. Without adequate zinc, your immune army is both understaffed and undertrained. Vitamin C dramatically increases the activity of white blood cells and acts as an antioxidant, protecting immune cells from the oxidative damage they're exposed to while doing their job. And selenium, often overlooked, plays a critical role in antiviral immune responses and is a cofactor for key antioxidant enzymes. 2 Brazil nuts per day provides roughly the entire recommended daily selenium intake. What this means for you: if you're the person who catches everything that goes around, assess your vitamin D, zinc, vitamin C, and selenium intake before anything else. These four are the foundation of immune resilience. Opinion, the nutraceutical case. Okay, I want to share a genuine opinion here, and I'm going to be straightforward about it. In an ideal world, you'd get everything your body needs from a perfect, varied, whole food diet. Organic vegetables from rich soil, pasture-raised eggs, wild-caught fish 3 times a week, liver once a week, plenty of nuts and seeds and leafy greens every single day. You'd sleep 8 hours, exercise regularly, have low stress, and get 20 minutes of direct sun daily. That world exists. It's lovely. Most of us don't live in it. We live in a world of depleted soils that grow less nutritious food than they did 50 years ago. We live in a world of hectic schedules, food deserts, budget constraints, and the occasional Tuesday where dinner was whatever you could get through a car window. And that's reality. So in my opinion, on top of the best whole food diet you can realistically maintain, there is a strong argument for a well-chosen supplement foundation. Specifically, a high-quality nutraceutical multivitamin, a good fish oil for omega-3s, extra vitamin D3 paired with K2, and a quality probiotic to support gut absorption. Not the generic vitamins in a 1-a-day tablet that's been compressed with who knows what. I mean whole food-based, third-party tested, actual quality supplements from brands that take formulations seriously. Think of it this way. You wouldn't run your car on the cheapest possible fuel and skip the oil. Changes and then wonder why it's not running well. Your body is infinitely more sophisticated than your car. It deserves at least as much thought. Food first, always food first. Then fill the gaps intelligently. All right, we just went through 25 signs that your body might be running low on critical nutrients. That is a lot of information, and I want to acknowledge that, because if you're sitting there feeling slightly overwhelmed and maybe a little personally attacked by some of those signs, that's okay. That's how this is supposed to feel. Because here's the thing, your body has been sending you these signals, some of them probably for years. It's been leaving notes, posting signs, sending increasingly urgent messages through your nails, your skin, your eyes, your muscles, your energy levels, your sleep. And a lot of us have been too busy scrolling to read them, which for the record is exactly how this video started. Remember that? So here's your challenge, and I'm serious about this. Pick 3 signs from today's video that resonated with you, 3 that made you go, oh, that's me. And commit to addressing them in the next 30 days. Just 3. Don't try to overhaul everything at once. Pick 3. Research the nutrients. Make the dietary changes. Get the blood work if something serious showed up on this list. Give it 30 days and pay attention to what shifts. Then come back here and tell me what happened. That is not a throwaway request. I genuinely want to know. Drop it in the comments. And if this video helped you connect some dots, share it with someone who needs it, because there's a really good chance someone in your life is dealing with cracked heels, or hair loss, or muscle cramps, or brain fog, and has no idea that their dinner plate might have a lot to do with it. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. New videos every week. Take care of yourself, eat your greens, get some sleep. And for the love of everything, stop ignoring the signs. Your body has been trying to reach you. Maybe it's time to pick up.